Hi everyone, hope you're doing alright. I hope you're keeping safe and I hope you're keeping sane. Very quickly, the Q&A video is coming very shortly. It's done. It was over an hour long, so I'm now just editing it, cutting out some of the waffle. But I'll try and leave all the important bits in there, and that'll be going up maybe later today, probably more likely tomorrow or at the weekend. So yeah, that is on its way. But I want to talk today about something I think very important. It's actually something I don't think I've even really addressed before, not directly at least. Now, as this channel's grown, I've really been blown away by the support for myself and the support that you guys give each other, certainly in the sort of comment section of the videos and stuff like that. It's also become very touching that people come to my channel for support for themselves. That people actually, sort of look at me as a sort of a source of information and advice when it comes to building their own recoveries, and that means a lot, and because that's kind of the point. What I will say is I do get comments. I received one yesterday, or it might be in the early hours of this morning, which concerned me because it quite clearly represents someone who is at a very low ebb, someone who is at quite a point of desperation because of their gambling. And it's led them to a sort of a sense of helplessness or hopelessness, or basically it concerns me to read such comments. And whilst I think that in the longer term, maybe some of my videos will be of help to you in your recovery, and you'll certainly be able to relate and realise that you're not alone in your struggles, in the immediate short term, I am not the person to speak to. For multiple reasons. Firstly, I'm not qualified, as I do say time and time again. Also, I'm not reliable in so much as I can't always get back to people. Sometimes I don't even see people's comments for days or weeks, or sometimes, to be completely honest, I never see certain comments just because they come and they go and I haven't checked the comments that day, and by the time I get round to looking at it, it sort of disappeared down the page. And I don't want you to sort of come looking for help and advice and immediate support from me, and because as much as I'd love to be there for as many people as possible, I literally can't do that. And you're doing yourself a disservice by coming to someone like myself when actually there are far better places to go for immediate support. So in this video, I want to talk about the people you should speak to in the first instance if you find yourself in a position of desperation, or that period immediately after something really quite bad has happened because of your gambling, or indeed because of any sort of addictive behaviour. The most obvious thing, obviously, we think about is a huge financial loss. Maybe you've put yourself into a financial hole and you're not sure how you're going to eat or indeed pay your rent or whatever for the coming period until you get some more money. It might have been that you just had a massive argument with your other half or with a family member. It might be you've just done something at work, lost your job. You may have just committed some sort of offence, immoral or illegal, something like that, and you are having a bit of a crisis within yourself. You don't know where to do. Everything seems a bit hopeless, and I'm not being melodramatic because I've been there. I've been to that place where you kind of wonder whether actually being alive is actually really worth the constant battle and heartache that it comes with it. I can assure you it is, but don't take my word for it, is my point. Now, the first people to speak to, if available, and if not, then stay tuned, are the people immediately around you. Okay, these are the people who you may have the most conflict with once you open up about your gambling. Like we're talking partners, families, parents, brothers, closest friends, all the rest of it. The people who care about us, the people who love us the most, the people we see the most and spend the most time with. These are the people we need to speak to first and foremost, because these are the people whose lives are likely to be directly impacted by our addictions as well as our own. But more importantly, in the short term, these are the people that are there to look after us, okay, to prevent us from doing anything stupid and to listen to us. Now, there's a good chance that the people you speak to in the short term, certainly when it comes to sort of friends, family and partners, may have no experience with gambling whatsoever. They may have no knowledge of gambling and no experience with addiction. They may not see it as the massive thing that it has become for yourself. Okay, they might just think, well, he's gambling too much, he's lost some money. and think that that's kind of the beginning and end of the problem in and of itself. Now, that's a risk you've got to take, but the very least, if you can explain everything and hold nothing back, then you're protecting them because they know what to look out for and they know to protect themselves, but also they can make sure that you are okay and that you don't do anything too drastic off the back of this new felt feeling of desperation. So speak to people closest to you first. Be prepared that they're going to be upset, distraught. There might be arguments, okay, but these are all inevitabilities. When I spoke to my wife about my gambling for the first time, she was quite distraught. There were arguments, okay, there were raised tempers, and I felt about this big, because obviously I had no defence for my actions. Addiction is not a defence against, unjustifiable actions, is it? It might be a reason, but it's not an excuse. So I just had to go with it. But since then, her support has been fantastic. Thankfully, we worked through it and we're stronger than ever. That might not always be the case, but speak to the people closest to you, is my point. If there's no one close to you, then there are always phone numbers and URLs in the descriptions of my videos of professional places and people that you can speak to. And these are certainly the next line. Okay. In the shortest term, if you are feeling low, if you are feeling desperate, if you are feeling like you may do something to harm yourself, then speak to the Samaritans. I cannot speak highly enough of the Samaritans. They are amazing, amazing people. And you can rest assured that they will not judge, and they will almost certainly have spoken to people in your position many, many times before, and they will know where to direct you, what to say, and how to handle the situation. Certainly better than someone like myself. Okay, so contact the Samaritans. Contact GamCare. They're always available. And again, these are volunteers. Mostly these are people who have normally got experience with gambling, and they know quite often what you're going through, and they are able to advise and support. And often they're able to advise and support in ways that you might not even have realised. If you have caused yourself financial problems, then maybe they can advise you as to where to get sort of an emergency loan and things like that. Okay, so speak to these people. And then in the longer term, continue to talk to those around you, but alongside contact people like Break Even or many of the gambling counselling charities that have been set up to support problem gamblers. I know in certain parts of the country, even the NHS run counselling sessions for addicted gamblers. The support out there is getting more and more. It's fantastic. It's really good to see that there's finally a lot more acknowledgement as to how serious this problem can be. So search for gambling counselling in your area, go on Google or whatever. Like I say, I attended counselling sessions with Break Even. I'm in the southeast of England. I don't know whether they're nationwide or whether that's a local thing. But if in doubt, Google is your friend. You'll be able to find a longer term solution where you can go and sit down and just talk to someone on a regular basis. And not only may it help you explore your addiction a bit more, may it help you open up a bit more and actually find out the basis and the triggers and the reasons behind your behavioural cycles. It also helps to keep you, for want of a better term, on the straight and narrow and keep you gamble free, because you have this regular milestone, this regular checkpoint. I'll probably talk about it more in another video, but I had not misgivings, but I'm not sure the content of my counselling, okay, was particularly productive for me based on my experiences. Okay, I would always say try it, because like I say, the more things you try, the more chance you've got of finding something that really works for you. However, just the process of having this weekly meeting and going along and knowing that I'd have to talk openly and honestly about my gambling enabled me to stay gamble free week in, week out. Okay, and after 10 weeks, that should be sufficient time to at least break the initial cycle of addiction. Obviously, there's a lot more to come after that, but that helps you break that initial cycle. So that's a good place to go in the sort of medium to long term. Okay, but if you're coming to this video off the back of something that's happened in your life that you feel is insurmountable, be that financial, be that in terms of a job loss, emotional conflict, you've done something illegal or immoral or whatever, okay, the people to speak to are the people closest to you in the immediate short term. If you haven't got those people around you, go to the Samaritans, go to GamCare, talk to them, talk to the professionals, okay, and then once you get into your recovery, come back here, share your experiences, talk to me, and I'd love to hear how you get on. But I am, as I say, and I don't like to think this is me shirking any kind of responsibility. I appreciate I have, to an extent, by making these videos, put myself on a little bit of a pedestal, but I am not qualified. I am not reliable or dependable enough to come to in a in a crisis. So speak to the right people, and most importantly, in the very, very short term, just take care of yourself, take stock. Look around you, find out what you've still got in your life, what you have as a platform to rebuild. Okay, and you can rebuild. All right, it might not seem possible now, and it might seem at the moment that you've hit rock bottom. Okay, but rock bottom is a solid basis from which to regrow. When you've got nothing else left to lose, the only way is up. But I will stop with the cliches now. Take care of yourself, and like I say, I'll try and make sure I put as many links and phone numbers and stuff in the description of this video. Get in touch with the people that can help. Speak to those around you. Stay safe, of course. Stay sane, and yeah, look after yourself. All the best.